This is one of my new favorite webinars where we get to interview teachers who are using Book Creator in their classrooms or in their roles, and just teachers that are coming up with really cool ideas for books. So I'm very excited to welcome Kristina to our second author spotlight, so that we can talk about some of the stuff that she's doing, because I saw one book specifically that was super, super exciting, and that's what kind of tipped us off.
It should be right over here.
Right
over here. Oh, which one? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there it is.
And then there's one right over there too.
So we're going to talk a little bit about this today. This is definitely not a major production type of webinar. We're not going to talk about a huge amount of things in specifics with Book Creator. So if you are looking for a getting started with Book Creator webinar, this is definitely not it. But we will, I'll put in my link here into the chat window. Let's see here, bookcreator.com/webinars. And that way, if you do want to attend any of our other webinars, you can certainly do so. But let me just introduce myself real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and jump right into our author spotlight. So my name is John Smith. I am the iPod teacher on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you want to give me a shout out, great. If not, you can also reach me at johnsmith@bookcreator.com. So I'll put that in the chat window as well. johnsmith@bookcreator.com and the iPod teacher on Twitter. And excuse me, there's one. Let's see what else. I taught special ed for 12 years. I was a technology integration specialist for 7, and now I'm working as the teacher success manager here at Book Creator. So lots of webinars, lots of trainings, sales, support, inspiration, conferences when that was a thing, all that stuff. That's what I do. Married, got 3 kids who are screaming out in the living room right now because they just finished their lunch apparently. And I love golf and clean cars. So if you're anywhere near Ohio and you want your dirty ride cleaned, bring it my way. And I'm
coming.
Kristina's on her way.
I've got 3 kids. I've got 3 kids too. I need a clean car.
Yeah, so I'm always happy to do that. So Kristina, without further ado, let's get into this and learn a little bit more about you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and, what do you do? What do you teach? How long you've been teaching? All that kind of good stuff.
Well, the details, right?
That's right. All the deets.
All the deets. So I'm beginning my 26th year of teaching this fall. I can't believe it's that long. I started as a 7th grade English teacher. I taught at the school that I went to, the middle school that I went to. I stood and taught with my 8th grade English teacher. So I taught with a team of teachers that I had when I was in school. So it was pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really amazing. It's where my mom went to school, where my sisters went to school.
That's awesome. I remember when I graduated, I did get my first job was in the district that I grew up in. And I remember at the time, my 6th grade teacher became an administrator in the district. And so when I joined the district, he was a big higher up in the district, and he saw me one day and I was like, "Hey, Mr. Nero." And he's like, no. He's like, "We're colleagues now." He's like, "You can call me Dan." And I was like, "Okay, Mr. Nero."
Exactly,
like,
me
too.
Worry.
I can't do it. I was like, no. I can't do it.
No, absolutely not. So I went back to school, and I actually, in 2000, I got my certificate in educational technology because I love technology. But I did not, I was at the point where I had a laptop for school. I did not have Wi-Fi, did not have a projector. This is the late 90s. We had a TV screen in our computer lab. I taught my kids how to make websites by copying my HTML code using WordPad, and they did it. They loved it. I taught my English class how to cite sources using screenshots. I had kids sitting around my computer, and I used screenshots. While my co-teacher was teaching grammar up at the front, I taught them through screenshots. Again, no Wi-Fi and no projector, but I love technology. And then I went to college, and I discovered PowerPoint. And I said, okay, well, forget the Mac. Now I have to go back to PC.
Yeah.
I was like, PowerPoint. So I was the first teacher in our school to use the PowerPoint. We had the Mac computers. I guess we used PowerPoint on it, or maybe with regular computers. Maybe it was Dell's. And we had the small floppies.
Yeah.
And I made a template for making a a review game for Bryant's song An Old Yeller, and I made a template and I would load them all in for the day,
Yeah.
and the kids would work on it, save their work, and at the end of the day I would pull them all out. They would have, a few kids would use the same disk during it, and I loved it. But who was looking for ed tech in 2000? No one.
Right.
No one
Right.
was. So love books, love reading. I love technology. People said, well, why not go into administration? I said, no, I want to teach kids and I want to teach teachers. So what will you do? You become a librarian.
There you go.
Then I can have my reading and I have my books and my technology.
Excellent. But
So
even back then though, that was still librarians and technology was kind of it wasn't like a perfect mesh back then, was it? In the 2000s?
I would say that the librarians, we always think of us as bunheads, but actually we have been on the forefront for a while. The barcodes, those came out long before regular barcodes. Cataloging, you look at Twitter with the hashtags, that's metadata.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for years.
Excellent.
And so yeah, we had databases back then. We were using technology back then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yep.
I guess that's true. I was thinking more of like the instructional technology, more of like media specialists sharing that. At least from the schools that I've worked with, some of the librarians in the past have been the last to make the move forward, which is it has like it's kind of counterintuitive to what you're saying. So
Yeah, I don't have an experience with people who
it's interesting.
the people I roll with, so to speak, those librarians, I don't know of anyone who is like that. I
That's
honestly don't
great.
know
Well,
because
good.
I don't know. I mean, so when people say that, I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, that was like the librarian I had in my middle school when I was a kid. And I remember going to the library once and asking someone for a pencil and the librarian yelling at me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I
Well,
remember.
yeah, excellent. Yeah, me too. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that that's not
No,
the case anymore. So that's
no,
fantastic.
no.
Um,
And so, yeah, so I taught library, middle school, again, middle school library for 14 years. And I saw an opening for an ed tech specialist at a school that is a really good, high achieving school. And I wasn't looking to leave, but I said, oh my gosh, the description had my name on it. Like every single thing. I said, oh my gosh, this is the job I've been waiting for 20 years for.
yeah.
So I am part of a library team. So we have two librarians and we have a large library. We have a pilot classroom, which they teach in. We have a professional development center, and then we have my innovation lab, which is like a makerspace.
Oh
But
wow.
I do a lot of pushing in with technology, with teachers and with students. So it's the perfect job I've been waiting all my life for.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember when I was a tech integration specialist, especially right at the very beginning, like people would come down to my office and they'd look at me like, what are you doing? And I was like, this is great, right? Like I get paid to play with technology
Yes,
and
yes.
figure it out all day long and then go to teachers and try to get them to play with it in their classrooms. And so, yeah, I agree. It's a great job to have. That's awesome. What a great background and a great amount of details there. I loved it. So give us that one interesting thing about you that people may not know.
Interesting thing is, well, oh, like you, I have three kids at home. And my husband, the great news is my husband loves Ford Broncos, and he just picked up a Bronco yesterday that
Oh,
was made by scratch, an old one
oh, nice.
made by scratch. Yeah,
I was thinking there's one of two ways this story is going to go. That he either pre-ordered a brand new one, and I couldn't wait to
no,
see which one, or he went old school and got one. So that's
old
fantastic.
school. He has not driven. He has parts of his Bronco in the garage, and he has not driven it since we got married.
Oh,
So yeah, so now he just picked that up. So he'll be playing with that. So that's interesting about him. I've
yeah.
got three kids who are going into sixth, fifth, and third grade. And I like to travel like a lot of people, and we have a pop-up camper. So that's
Oh,
my hobby. That's my interesting thing. We spent a week on the beach at the being in July, and then in June I went with just my kids, and we did use tents. So I love camping. I
awesome.
love being outdoors. Love camping.
That's great. Well, that brings us to today, and we're talking about Book Creator specifically. So, how did you come to know Book Creator? I mean, everybody has a Book Creator story. And everybody that's on the well, probably most of the people that are on the webinar. I see DL Dean is here again. Hi, DL Dean. He's one of our super webinar fans. So what is your book creator story, and how did you come to be with Book Creator and just enjoy using it?
Well, I remember Book Creator actually from years ago. We had, some kids use it in our library, used it for digital making in our library makerspace on our iPads, but then I didn't use it. I didn't use it for quite some time. And then in my new district, they had a Book Creator subscription just for the elementary schools. And so I was asked by my friend is the assistive technology coordinator, teacher. I'm not sure what her title is, but she works with students with assistive technology. She's OT, but she has the assistive technology layer. And so she was asked to have a presentation at our school about a district about assistive technology. Well, she believes in universal design, which is basically what's good for people who need assistive technology is good for everyone. Mm-hmm. So one example would be like an automatic door. Mm-hmm. It's good for people in wheelchairs, but it's also good with moms who have their hands full with packages and 2 kids.
Yep.
So it's good for everyone. So she invited my friend who's an elementary state developer, and she asked me as the high school person to work with her on this presentation to show that the tools that we're using in a district to assist kids who have OT problems, who have special ed, and who are English language learners help everyone. Help everyone. And so I loved Book Creator when I saw that, and I had known about it, but then this past year, midway through the year, they extended the Book Creator subscription K through 12.
Nice. Excellent.
And then I really got to play with, when teachers came in, I was really able to we got it in the spring, and I was really able to make some projects with that. And so something I had known about years ago came back around.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's great. So the book, I guess, the thing that kind of alerted me to you is the book that is over your left-hand shoulder right there, the Epic Book of Web Tools.
Yep.
And so I'm curious, I'd love to just talk about this book specifically, and then we can obviously we'll talk about some other things too, but I want to specifically talk about this book. And if you want, I'll give you access here to share your screen.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you.
So I'm going to make you the host right now. We just got to make sure we turn it back before we're over.
Mm-hmm.
So you are now the host, and I'd love to just have you talk about this book and more specifically at the beginning, why?
Why? Yes.
It's an amazing book, and I just want to know why. Why did you decide to do this? So you now have rights to share.
Awesome.
Just make sure if there's audio to click that little checkbox that says use audio.
Right. So I'm going to show you, actually, I'm going to go into my account. And so we have the Epic ebook of web tools and apps. So at the beginning, in the spring, when we were going remote, I actually created a book, how to create your own how-to book.
Oh.
Now, if you notice my Zoom background, I have some makerspace books by Scholastic, and so I used some of the examples of how to use, teach kids about making, but also I told them about the process of how I made those books, and then I inspired them to make their own books through Book Creator. So it was kind of like a lesson within a lesson.
Yeah.
And I actually had a friend of mine translate it into Spanish. So I'm looking for translators. We have teachers from California to China using the book. So I'm looking for more translators. So if you speak another language, I'd love for you to translate.
Well, we've got quite a few people in our participant list here. So I know that DL Dean, for example, DL Dean did a webinar for us in Arabic. Arabic may be an option here. I'm totally throwing people under the bus here. We've got some people from Italy and things like that. So, Amina is also Arabic. Yep, that's right.
Awesome.
So lots of possibilities here.
Awesome. So I have my Twitter handle there, and I put my website, Bunhead with Duct Tape. If you just go in there and just contact me, that would be great. And I can give you the Google Doc that has all of the text, and then I just could make a copy of it and put the text in. So thank you.
Yeah.
So then after that, I made 3 Flipgrid books to help our teachers, because webinars are great, but I find that teachers and people sometimes they don't know what part of the webinar they need to refer to again. If it's like a general webinar like this, it's one thing, but when you're doing a how-to, sometimes people who are more advanced, they don't want to sit for the hour, and some people who are beginners, they feel like they're rushed. So by using Book Creator and putting my own screencasts and text and videos and images, you can go at your own pace.
Yep.
So, and then I said, you know what? We need something for just web tools and apps. So when I go in here, you'll see that this is the collaborative feature. So I noticed that it was over, again, there were so many ways to use web tools during the coronavirus. And I noticed that there was a trial for collaboration. So I signed up for the collaboration feature for the trial. And then it has been published, but what I love about Book Creator is that you can edit it at any time. So when I go into here and to edit, you'll actually see, like I created this in Canva, so it's a little bigger, but because I like you to work on a cropping feature, just saying. I want to be able to crop in Book Creator.
I know that is definitely something that we hear a lot of, and I'm hoping that that's something that we get available. Have you tried using the comic panel to crop?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that I have used. So yeah, you're right. I could put a comic panel here and crop that. That is one of those tricks that I actually learned from your certification.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Yes, and actually now, in order to be an author or contributor for our Book Creator, I mean, I don't check it, and I just strongly encourage people to become certified authors in Book Creator before they begin, because that means I don't have to train them on how to use anything,
Correct. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everything's right there. And that just came in like towards the end of when we were creating the book.
Yep.
So you can see these are all our pages. This is exactly what it looks like on the back end. These are my Flipgrid books. And what was really cool is I didn't need to reinvent my Flipgrid things, although I have to put it in updates. I just put in my Flipgrid books right into this book.
Yep.
I made a book within a book. So whenever I update the Flipgrid ones, that will be updated as well.
Yep.
So, and they are out of order by alphabetical. They are not alphabetized because people just kept adding things. So that's why here we made the clickable index, which I love, because I could put everything in alphabetical order, and then I could just hyperlink them to the page. If I could just go there and I click this, you'll see it goes to the page right there.
Yep, that's awesome. And I think the other thing I love about this book is that it was very timely because, like you said, I mean, right in the middle of this pandemic, and teachers around the world. I mean, we've been doing webinars out the hoo-ha trying to get things going for teachers, and I love this book because who would have thought that a pandemic is that thing that might move teachers into technology, right? If they weren't interested in it before, now they kind of had to be, right? We're just kind of thrown in the deep end. We're saying that, look, nobody's going to school, so you're going to have to use technology at some point. So I think this is a fantastic book and tons of great tools. I teach a graduate class, and I teach teachers how to use technology in that graduate class. And I'm always looking for new things, new websites, new ideas. And I know that when my class starts back up again and I actually get to meet my teachers in person, I'm going to be using this book because I got tons of examples and I don't have to go do all the research. It's already done for me. It's right there inside this book.
Well, that was one of the other things I said. And so this is an empty page waiting for people. And each page, so let's say you go here, each page I put a click here for index. So you automatically go back to the index again. You don't have to flip all these pages again. So all you have to do is go through, let's say I want to do something on Merge Cube. I click Merge Cube and it will bring me right there. I learn about Merge Cube. Short and sweet, right? What's good teaching for students is good teaching for teachers. And then if I want more information, again, it's like an appetizer. I have a person I can speak to. I have their Twitter handle. I have the experts, and then I can go back to the index again and then find something else. If I want
Okay.
to browse, great. If I don't want to, right here.
Yeah, I love the idea of the appetizer, right? I'm a big fan of the appetizer mentality, where it's like, I'm going to give you just enough to get excited about it, and then if you're excited,
Right.
then you take more, because that gives them that ownership. If I'm the only one just saying like, check out all these bells and whistles, then the ownership piece kind of goes away. And with that appetizer, they get that taste, and then they take that deep dive, they take that understanding to the next level. So I love that. That's fantastic.
So here we have our book creator section.
Awesome. And who? And I didn't read this one yet. Who did the book creator page?
This was Ranga the trainer. I have to look for his actual name in the author bios, but I just put it out there in my Hacking School Libraries Facebook group, and then I just put on Twitter who would like to write for the book, and I had immediate responses. I made up a Google form. I could show you how that works. And then this person was referred to me by Bruce Riker, who wrote a Scripted. It's about WeVideo, and I said, Bruce, I need to have WeVideo in our epic book. And then I noticed that he had tagged this person, and I said, oh my gosh, I need you too. So some people I had invited personally because I knew their work, and I knew that I needed certain tools in there. And some people just volunteered. And it's really nice because number one, I didn't have to look for a publisher. Number two, I didn't have to wait for something to be published, because by some time something's published, it's outdated again.
Yep.
I've seen, I know you can transfer this into like a Kindle kind of thing, and I was going to put it up on Amazon, but there's no way to make anything free on Amazon.
Exactly. I had that same issue.
Ugh,
I've been publishing books with my students for about 8 years. And when we first started, there was no online version of Book Creator. We published everything through Apple's bookstore. And it was
right.
a good experience. We had great, statistics, and I could tell what countries were viewing our books and things like that. But eventually there's like so much red tape, right? Where if something isn't formatted right, or if you use a copyrighted term incorrectly, or things like that, then your book doesn't get published. It becomes kind of that barrier. And that's what I love about the online version. Same thing, like I tried Amazon, and again, I couldn't make a book free. And I was like, well, I don't want to charge money. I just want it to be free.
Exactly. I
And
wanted Amazon's media presence to get it out there, but I wanted it to be free. And also you have to download it and upload it, where then how are you going to get the more updated version? Whereas if you just have the link, you always have the updated version.
yeah, yeah. It really is. I say it in almost every single webinar. It's just easy. And every time I talk with somebody, it's like, it is. It's just even easier than I thought it was easy. So I really love that. Now, you did mention briefly talking about how you got this out there. You sent it out through Twitter, Facebook group, and
Hmm.
basically just asked people to contribute. And
Yep.
clearly, people responded and said yes. But how did you touched on it briefly, how did you organize all of that? How did you, other than just saying on Twitter and Facebook, how, come join me, make a book? What did that look like? You said a Google form or something is what you used?
Sure.
Like that?
So I'm just going to put right before I leave this page, if you have anyone here, if you have a favorite web tool or app, if you go into our book creator book of epic ebook of web tools and apps, if you go to, I believe it's this page 3, you can click the link to contribute to this book, or you can click this link to contribute to other books. So I'm just letting you know that if you'd like to.
Awesome.
Um,
And I'm
so
gonna, I'm
let's
gonna put the link to your book in the chat window right now. And that way,
so
everybody
you'll
can.
see this is what the back end looks like now. So this one was already published. What I'm doing right now is the people who have access to that one book have access to the whole library. That's something else. I would like to give access just to certain books, and I could do that, but I'd have to turn people on and off, and some people are in multiple books. So we're everyone's working together. It's not just like I'm putting out the link out on Twitter, so I cannot show you the invite code. I'm sorry. I can't show you that because this is a webinar. If
All
you'd like to apply, yeah, then I'll show you the invite code. But there's an invite code, and then you join our library. You have access to everything. And since these 2 books are already published, then you would have to go into the under construction ones, and then eventually I'll move them over because I don't want the published one to look all messy.
yeah.
But We are working on a few right now. We're working on the social emotional learning. We're
Mm.
working on the reading and writing. We are working on gamification and makerspace.
Oh, wow.
So I will show you what it looks like. So when you go in, if you apply and then you get the code, I actually make a video, show you how to do it. And you go in, and so let me see so you have pages. I'm copying the book. I have my intro, which I will change for everyone. We had an epic release party sponsored by New Jersey Association for School Librarians. So I put the recording here, and then I'm working on the clickable index, and then you put your Bitmojis here. Again, it's like almost like Google Slides. You have access to everything. When there's about the authors, you just grab one of these squares, and that's your business card area. You could put what you like. And then I started it off. We have someone else who already contributed. And then I get my form right here, right? Which is this, basically this email, this proposal form. So I ask them their name, their email address, which ebook would you like to contribute to, and describe. This is the back end of it. So, but these are the different toolkits. An idea or lesson you like to share, because I don't want a lot of repeats. What grade is it appropriate for? How many pages? I used to be the yearbook advisor, so I like things opening to 2-page spreads or 4 or 6. They're even. So when you open up the page, you own both pages instead of someone overlapping. You know, it's one concept per page. And then comments and questions. And then I just get this. And then you can see I've emailed people already.
Yeah.
And I put the pages in for them. I give them a spot, put their name, put what their title is, you know, what they're doing. And I put colors in only because if it's all white, I can't see from far away which pages I've already put in for people. So I just colorize everyone's pages so I know quickly how many authors we have. They go in and they just start playing. They can change the background color. They can use the format. I did start the book with the comic layout because if they want to use it, they can use it. And if they don't want to, they don't want to. But if you don't choose the comic layout at the beginning, you can never go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can choose, like I said, the comic panels. And
Yeah.
this way they have that option. If they don't want to, that's fine too. Everyone has their own style. And it's really great. And you can see this is a collaboration feature right now. And probably at about the end of the month, we'll make it, whichever ones are done, quote unquote done, they will have this published little feature right here.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I'm assuming that based on the amount of teachers that you have had participate in these books, that they've enjoyed it. Have you gotten any
Yes.
feedback from them in terms of, you know, just maybe did you have any teachers who were brand new to Book Creator
Yes.
that fell in love with it, or, you know, what was the experience from the people who you worked with during this process?
They thought people who already used Book Creator were like, yeah, I got it. And people who had never used it were like, yeah, now this is a tool that I want to use. And I loved using it as in this professional way because now, so this is we do have a second book, the Digital Librarian Survival Toolkit, which has already been published. This one's a little shorter. I think this one's about 200 pages and it's written all by librarians, whereas first one focuses on web tools. This one focuses on concepts and using the tools.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I
And
just put the link to that one in the chat window as well. These are absolutely amazing. And sorry, my children. Um, but
but
yeah,
what
they're just fantastic. And I love what you said. Hang on one second. I love what you said about the professionalism look of it. Because I think one of the things that I hear talking to schools and districts and teachers all the time is that, yeah, Book Creator is great for the young kids, or yeah, it's great for, you know, as a teacher, I could make something for young kids. But there's so many uses, obviously, for people who are not first or second graders, right? You know, I think sometimes that cutoff appears to be like middle school, right? Like,
Right.
middle school teachers are like, yeah, we might use it, and high school teachers are like, nah, right? We're not going to use it because it doesn't look difficult enough or something, right? And I love the idea that you're saying here is that, yeah, I mean, look at the cover. It's really nice looking. Look at the inside. These are really well put together books, and it doesn't have to look um, childish. It doesn't have to be, for first or second grade. It could be anything. And I love putting that idea on students, right? Like when they look at me and they say something is too simple, then I say, make it look not simple. Like if you
Right.
think Creator looks too simple, then wow me, make something fantastic. Like you're flipping through here, these are great looking books. So I love that you said that. I think that's a great. That's
Well, why do think tools have to be difficult?
right.
You were worried about the content.
Yeah.
The tools should be simple to
Yep.
use. It should
I,
be.
I agree. And again, for me, I keep beating this dead horse, but that's why I love Book Creator, because the tool doesn't get in the way. It is what it is. There's a plus button, there's an I button, and that's it. You can figure the rest of it out. And I tease teachers all the time and say, I don't teach Book Creator to teachers or to students. I teach Book Creator to teachers, because kids, I give them 5 or 10 minutes to play around with it, and they got to figure it out. So I absolutely love this. I think this is really great. I love the copyright section
Yep.
there. This is amazing. So I really appreciate you sharing this information with us and showing us, some of the future releases that you have coming out. I think are fantastic, and definitely would love to get some of these on our resource page
Yes.
as a way to show other people ways that people are using Book Creator in interesting ways. My wife, like I said, she's a guidance counselor, and this year, for all of those students who decided to start online, she's in charge of all of those students, and so she's now the virtual academy, director, whatever, for this coming year. And so social emotional learning is something.
I want her in that book, Social
Um,
Emotional Learning.
I'm excited about that one. But we made a book using Book Creator to introduce the online environment to all of the students and parents. And so we just created a fun little book with Bitmojis and comics and things like that to get kids and parents excited about this online learning environment that they're in. So yeah, this is amazing stuff. And
I tell you, the teachers loved using it. They loved using it. And so now I think that kind of like, and the fact that, I'm a librarian, and Google Slides is fine, but number one, you have the problem with, you have to open up the videos to everyone. You don't have to worry about that here. You can link and teach, and like some people who I asked them to write for the book already had YouTube videos and resources. So all they had to do was plug them into this template or whatever. Or if you don't know, you could record your video right in here. You don't have to go out. You could record right in here. I had someone put in like little, I didn't even think about putting in like the little hotspots, putting in little audio clips. So she didn't have her video, but she had audio in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that one of the things that I always say too is that, there's nothing wrong with Google Slides. There's nothing wrong with PowerPoint or Keynote or anything like that. But for me, in my experience, when you say something like that to a kid, we're going to make a PowerPoint, we're going to make a Keynote, we're going to make a Google Slide, there's a certain mentality that goes through that. And you're going to get that mentality more often than not on the slide. You're going to get text,
right.
you're going to get bullet points, you're going to get whatever. But when you say to somebody, you're going to write a book, you're contributing to a book, you're contributing to something, you're going to be an author of, that's a whole different discussion. And those kids and those teachers are like, yeah, I want to be a published author. How awesome is that?
You know what? And it was the teachers who contributed to as well. Like, I'm a published author. I co-wrote Hacking School Libraries with my friend Stoney Evans, and I have the Scholastic Makerspace books. But a lot of these people here are, I would say most people are not published authors. They're not published authors, and this was a way for them to become a published author, and they didn't need to write a whole book.
Yep.
They could write one section, and they could express themselves through. And see, here he has his little hotspots, which I love. See, just little hotspots, and it's multimedia. So you can look at any way you want. You can read it, images. I mean, the people who were in the book were excited to learn from each other in the book. As they went through, they went, and what was really funny, they were like, oh, I saw someone did this, and it gave me an idea from my page.
Yep, absolutely. I love that. I think that's great. I love this idea of crowdsourcing. I think what you have here is absolutely amazing, and definitely look forward to seeing more of these books as they're being built and as they get published. So I definitely want to say thank you. I really am so happy that you joined us today for our second author spotlight. Kristina, that was amazing. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask those in the chat window. And actually, Mina says, can't remember if this is mentioned or not, how can we contact you, Kristina, if we'd like to take part in the book? So Kristina just put the website down. And I think she also mentioned her Twitter handle. Yep, right
Yep.
there.
And
So
in the book, there is my website link, and there's the form. Everything's in the book.
yeah, absolutely. And if while people are asking other questions, I do have my one last question that I like to ask people, and it's going to sound a little weird at first, but so I'll give you the short version, Kristina. But for the last couple of years, I've been fascinated with death, and not death in the like weird, scary kind of way, but death in the sense of what are we doing in our classrooms and personally professionally that we can just get rid of, that we can just kill off to make room for the new stuff. So as teachers are going through things and they're going through this epic book of all these really cool web tools, there's so much in there, we can't possibly do it all. So what is the one thing that you wish that you could get rid of to make room for something else, whether it's you personally or your school or just even in education in general? What's that one thing you wish that would just die so that we could make room for something new?
I'm not going to mention any web tool because, as I've learned, web tools are adapting. And we have that whole PowerPoint has like a bad rap and Google Slides, but they do have great features in it. It's just how people use them.
Mm.
So I'm going to say what I would love to die is negativity.
Ah, I love it.
Negativity, because then negativity, you have no hope. You look at challenges as as something that hurts instead of helps, and you don't progress. Negativity keeps you stagnant, and it keeps you stuck. It doesn't help you finding a solution. It just creates more problems.
I like it. I
So
like
negativity, and especially now, it's not just in education, it's everywhere. No mean to say I don't have my negative days. Going back to school, I think September is going to be really hard on my kids. I'm not looking forward to the emotional anxieties that are going to come from my own children and my students and probably myself. But negativity just brings us down, and it doesn't help at all.
yeah.
And when we work together, if I'm having a negative day, I can reach out to someone and they can build me up, right? So
Absolutely.
negativity and creating relationships.
Absolutely. I agree. I couldn't agree more. Mina, as she's looking through the book, she says it's amazing. Technical question regarding adding videos to the book. How are you making the thumbnail appear? Do they have to embed from YouTube for the thumbnails to appear? So Mina, I can answer this one. So if you embed a YouTube video, then the video just appears directly in the book, right? So there's no issues there. If you upload your own video into the book, the video just appears. So the only time that something weird happens when you embed is if you embed something that's like from Flipgrid, or if you embed something from Padlet or something like that. Sometimes those embeds are not direct embeds. They're like embedded links. And so then you get like that weird link. Like if you embed a Google Doc, right? You're not going to see the whole Google Doc. You see the link, you click on it, you get the doc. So that's why. So the ones that have the thumbnails that are just videos, it's YouTube or
It's
uploaded
so
video.
simple. It's just so simple. And if you have a problem, like if it's not embedding the way you want it to, just take a screenshot, put it in, and hyperlink it.
Yeah. So the example that she mentioned was Loom. She created a Loom tutorial, but it didn't show any thumbnails. And I'm thinking it's probably just the way that the Loom link works.
Right.
versus the way a YouTube link works. But I think that I love the idea of taking a screenshot and being able to link it directly to the video would work out perfectly. So Marissa says, thank you so much. Learned a lot about Book Creator. Excellent experience. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Mina, and everybody for being here. And Christine, thank you so much for being in our author spotlight. This is fantastic. For those of you that are here watching, this video will be on our YouTube channel eventually. It usually takes us a couple days to get that stuff uploaded, but keep an eye out on our YouTube channel for that information. I'm coming. And I have a 3-year-old who has an issue, so make sure that we take care of that. But I want to say thank you, everybody, for being here. And again, thank you, Kristina. Really, really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see more of the great stuff that you do.
Awesome. And I just want to give a shout out. I am not the author of these books. So this is not an author spotlight of me. This is an author spotlight of every single person that you see in these books. They are the experts and they are the ones to reach out to for my help. So this is an author's spotlight.
I was just about to say, I should have changed it on that one for author's spotlight. But anyway, thank you so much, Kristina. Kristina, if you could make me the host again, then I will go ahead and we'll get this thing shut down here. But again, thank you, everybody, for being here today. Be safe out there. Happy bookmaking, and I can't wait to see how many of you join in Kristina's attempt to continue making these books even bigger. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.